Hey guys, welcome to a mini episode of The Curtain Call. And in today's episode, I'll be talking to you about the Netflix movie Spiderhead, starring Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. The film is directed by Joseph Kosinski, who just came out with one of the most surprising hits of the year, Top Gun: Maverick, one of my favorite films of the year. A sentence that I don't think I would ever say. Kosinski is also known for being a visual effects artist and started his film directing with the essentially CGI demo reel of Tron Legacy and the really underrated Tom Cruise sci-fi gem Oblivion. So with Spiderhead we get another sci-fi story, this one based off a short story, where a correctional facility has subjects being experimented on with mind-altering drugs by a psychotic and brilliant visionary, played by Chris Hemsworth, who intends to cure the ailments of humanity. The film follows one of the inmates, played by Miles Teller, who, despite being able to live a comfortable life, being almost mates with this brilliant visionary, is starting to suspect there's something very wrong with this correctional facility. Well, gee, I thought the name Spiderhead kind of spelt that out, mate. So yeah, it's a basic story of the underdog trying to expose the evil corporation. And while the film does start off promisingly with ideas about how mind-altering drugs can affect what it means to be human, it's a classic example of a movie that started off with a great pitch, but along its development, the writers were kind of backing themselves against the corner, not really knowing where to take the story. It's an idea that could have worked really well in a short form of, say, 30 or so minutes. But it's quite clear they tried to extend it to a feature length with obviously big stars attached to it. It also very much suffers from, this was made during COVID quarantine times as well, with very limited locations, very small cast of characters, and very small stakes. While not necessarily a problem, I feel like some directors could really handle this. Kosinski and the writers involved clearly struggle with utilising this space to their advantage. Funnily enough, one of the best things about the film actually is Chris Hemsworth himself, who I've never really been a huge fan of as an actor, because, well, let's face it, he's usually just playing the handsome Aussie guy. Yes, even in that film. But yeah, in this he clearly has a lot of fun with the American accent and does a really good job playing a creepy, brilliant, visionary nerd. Even though it is a little bit unrealistic that such a handsome fella would be such a nerd, and he really does work well in this film and is by far the best element of the film. Miles Teller also does give it his all, but really the dialogue of the script does fail him, and most of the other cast members as well. It's just a not very well developed idea. As I said, the first 20 minutes or so are actually quite engaging and it does go into some interesting territory. But as a whole, the film does not come together very well, and it comes crashing and burning within its final 30 minutes or so. It's essentially a run to the finish line by the end, and I will say upon first watching it, I did start to fall asleep around the concluding parts. It's a real shame because it could have actually been really interesting if a bit more development had been popped into the characters and just the general story. In its current state, however, it just feels like a film that has such small stakes. And considering it's exploring some pretty grand ideas, it's quite a surprise. Much like the film Demonic from last year. It's a film with great ideas in it, but because of its limited budget, its limited locations and limited cast and weak script, you get a film that really is undercooked. The only reason I'd recommend checking this out is for Chris Hemsworth's very campy, very over-the-top performance. Because I will give him this, he did a really good job. Apart from that though, I really would give this a miss. If you're looking for a film sort of like this, by all means check out Ex Machina. Much more mature, much more interesting film. Dealing with similar ideas of what it means to be human, but really capturing that element of isolation I feel this film was trying to depict, but ultimately failed at. So yeah, unfortunately I'm going to have to give Spiderhead a 4 out of 10. Thanks guys for tuning into my mini review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And I'll be releasing my new full-length video very shortly. Remember to like, subscribe, and tune into the latest content of The Curtain Call. There's more stuff coming your way, guys. Alright, peace.